So we need to be honest and admit it that, everyone, almost everyone, because some of you said, not me, almost everyone does something stupid in their lifetime, something that they would rather nobody find out about it. I've done it, I have to admit. And it's fun. When you're doing it, it's a lot of fun. And sometimes there's a good reason to do it. You can justify that it's not even stupid, it's not even naughty, it's just something that happened, but leaves a trace and leaves a situation which, if exposed, can really screw your life. And with modern technology, telephones, everyone got a camera, too much chatting going on, everyone can record your phone calls, everyone can make a video. There is so much bloody evidence out there, it is insane. On the street, you got to be so careful. You have to be so careful. And having a public profile, I'd rather not call myself a personality, celebrity, whatever, a public profile. There's so many people with public profiles whose telephone calls come out. I mean, you could be calling to an Amazon delivery guy and you just get harsh and screw you. And someone's going to record your phone call, it's going to leak. And you're going to look like a total jackass. Yep. So because of modern technology, you got to really hold your breath and be careful. So today, that line, it's fun to be naughty as long as that's a bit of a clickbait, but it is true. We all get naughty either because you want to or something stupid happens. The key is to not get caught. That's tonight's topic. Dennis, what's your take, man?
Yeah, I was looking forward to really kind of coming in and learning from you, and because one of the things I think when we, sometimes on this show, I think we have the topics that we discuss, we try to keep them, normalizing normal, but we also try to keep them a little bit lighthearted and so forth, while still showing them respect. And what I have gotten back is, some of our regular viewers and stuff, they private message me that they'll make a comment on our show, and then the next thing they know is they're basically like online stalked. And all types of inappropriate comments, and it makes them feel very uncomfortable. And so I almost wonder when we say that as long as we don't get caught, I'm just going to come out and say I think in many cases we don't protect ourselves enough. And two is that we put ourselves in situations to have these negative things happen. So like if you don't want people like making, if you don't want people. Be careful with the comments that you make online, because you might make a comment that ends up getting you trolled, right? Or some sort of a photo that gets posted or anything else. Here in the U.S., one of the things that we're seeing, especially with online stuff, is that people are taking and they're actually losing their jobs because of their online behavior. So many industries in the United States have adopted social media policies, and here in many of the many states, we're able to regulate off-duty behavior. So if your behavior will negatively impact my business, then I have the right to fire you or terminate your employment. And that we're seeing that more and more and more. So, a few weeks ago, we looked at those coronavirus Karens and their bad behaviors and stuff. A lot of them. That's the next thing. Now you just wait a few weeks or something, and it'll come out. Oh, this person, Karen got fired. Another Karen lost her job. So, it's happening. Other people are we take and make these comments online for maybe we're just joking or something. I think it's really, really important to remember that when we make a comment online, all people or others are able to see is what we write. And that can be interpreted in a million different ways. So just be very, very careful with that. And getting caught, I'm going to come out and challenge you one more, man. I'm going to up it. I think we do certain things sometimes so that we get caught. Thoughts?
Well, that's leaking stuff yourself for publicity, and there's no publicity like negative publicity.
I mean, almost a subconscious thing going on.
Very consciously. Pamela Anderson sex tapes. I think Tommy Lee. There's nothing.
Of course,
that was one of the earliest tapes. Well, that was one of the earliest. You see, camcorder era.
Yeah.
I think it was very intentional. They wanted that publicity. Paris Hilton, she wants it.
Look, we all the entire world keeps up with the Kardashians.
There you go.
All based on a deliberately leaked sex tape.
Yeah, and they become so wealthy off of it. So that's the whole thing. So the multiple facets to it. The facet that you touched, I'm gonna cover that very quickly. You said people comment here and then they get trolled, or they get stalked. You know what? If you're going to come out of your house today, if you're going to come on social media, and if you don't have a thick skin, you're in the wrong place. Log off. You know, it's going to happen. You will get stalked. You will get trolled, because there are millions and millions of people out there who have access to your stuff, and you can't expect everyone. And you know, and they're anonymous. They're hiding behind no pictures, fake names. They will have fun. You have to have the courage and the conscience. Say, you know what? I know. I think we did this with a show about this, Lady Gaga. I respect opinions of people I respect. And if someone's stalking you, if someone's sending you crap, block them, man. It's that simple. You know, right here, while we're doing this live, a lot of people come here and say crap. And as of 2 days ago, I've decided no asshole policy. I'm not going to engage assholes. There's one here. Look at this. Heather Khan. Here comes. All right? A chutia is a bad word. So he's calling me that. So without fail, I am, without even acknowledging this, I'm going to block this user. Now this user has been blocked. And now I'm going to delete this comment, and that's it. He's out of my life. Yeah. So if a dude's sending you, my audio's bad?
There's a lot of interference.
Oh, is it okay now? The same thing is happening yesterday.
Seems better. I'll let you know if it happens again. A lot of static.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah.
I need to fix my mic. It happened yesterday. Okay, so the thing is, you got to ignore that shit. But what happens now in your job situation, if you're making stupid comments, it happened in Pakistan as well, because we have this whole PTI thing, Imran Khan thing, the Youthia thing going on. So this PTI supporter actually attacked somebody with influence. And this joker on his profile had said, you know, customer relationship manager, bank such and such. Well, the guy he had trolled picked up the phone to the president and said, you know, one of your employees did this to me. Next thing he knows, he's fired. Okay? So if you're going to put your real identity out there, there you go. There's the case. Thank you very much. That's the case. If you're going to don't be a jackass. You will get screwed. The world has changed. So these are the simpler cases in life. I'm talking about more complicated. Young girls. Yeah. I know so many young ladies who have gotten into trouble. A lot of celebrities, actresses, stars. Their personal tapes come out, their personal videos come out, and their careers get ruined, their lives get ruined. And it has happened repeatedly in Pakistan in the past year. A lot of young girls, perfectly good girls, you know, they fall in love. When you're a teenager, you do this, and you send out stuff, you share pictures, willingly, unwillingly, which at some point are going to get used against you. I'm going to tell a little story, and then Dennis, I'd like your take on this. Many years ago, a friend of mine from South Africa, he was visiting, and he's a bit of a party guy, and we have, you know, sitting in Pakistan, he's visiting for work, and he said, hey, you know, I said, and we with a bunch of friends said, you know, we should party together. And this guy says, I would never party with you. And we're like, excuse me? He goes, I would never party with a friend. And we're like, why? He said, today's friend is not tomorrow's friend. I will not leave a trace with you. Someday you're going to blabber it out. Someday my wife's going to find out. Someday I'm going to get screwed. I will never party with anybody I know. I'll party alone. I'll party with strangers, never with people I know. So the first step to this whole thing is don't trust anyone. Dennis, I'm going to fix my audio.
Yeah, you know, I'm a little conflicted on this one, to be very honest with you. So one of the things I'm going to say is, for a long time, I lived my life the same way. What I will come out and say is that I think that I denied myself a lot of cool experiences, and getting to meet a lot of cool people, and getting to do things with people that were friends. I agree with a lot of that. I want to just say I think I understand the concept of protecting ourselves and so forth. But I also think that sometimes we end up going overboard, and then we end up denying ourselves like pleasure, fun, cool experiences, and so forth. So I think that there's probably a middle ground where that's concerned. Because part of the fun of it, there was a situation that I partied, And listen, here's the deal. Like I did this, and what I'm going to say is I'm extremely grateful social media was not really a thing, and nobody was really, like, at the time I did this, everyone still had flip phones. So, like, you know, it wasn't quite what it is today. And I was at a work event. A lot of alcohol was being consumed. And long story short is, you know, it didn't take long. It only took about 3 to 5 minutes of a group of people to convince me that I needed to, like, run around the hotel naked and, like, bend over and let women smack me on the ass and stuff like that. So I understand that, and having been in a position to where I made a fool of myself, and then had to, like, live with the experiences, because there's people that still will talk to me, and that literally was 20 plus years ago, and people will still go, hey, you get any spankings lately? Ha 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 ha. And that's what people remember. You know, so I talk to a lot of younger people, and it really is, you must take and look at what you're putting out online, because even if you have, your country has a law, and the United States does, that I, as an employer, I'm not supposed to, hear me out, I'm not supposed to go online and, like, internet stalk you and look for information to make employment decisions. Come on, you know as well as I do that I do that. Everybody else does it as well. So be very, very careful with what you put out there. The other thing I'm going to say, I mean, we're talking about a lot of, like, predatory behavior, but that comes up a lot. But I am also going to say is, when you put silly things out there, when you really put silly things out there, I ended up losing an employee, all because he ended up posting, he called out sick and then posted a picture of himself doing, you know, a handstand on a keg. It's called a keg stand. And the spout was in his mouth. And, you know, I don't know if you guys, I'm assuming everybody, like, in Pakistan's done a keg stand, or a few, you know.
Now, we don't have kegs, but drinking is illegal, officially illegal. So, and we don't even get kegs. You got to buy bottles, man. Okay, now when I was telling that story, I was referring to the fact that never trust anyone. Anybody who's your friend today, your lover today, your husband today, you know, at some point in their life, they could become your enemies. So you got to be careful.
Yeah,
so anyways.
They can, yeah.
Today, there are so many ways of protecting yourself, and I'll maybe tell a few short stories to emphasize each one. First of all, you need to protect your email accounts, your Facebook accounts, your Twitter accounts, everything. There's one thing putting something out there. The other thing is you're losing your accounts. And I am shocked that even today, a lot of people have no idea what two-form authentication or 2FA is. What a joke. I mean, if you still don't know it, you come on, pinch yourself. So rule one, every account, everything that you have should have 2FA enabled. And not the 2FA which goes with your SMS. That's no good. On your phone, there are apps like Authy, which generate one-time codes. Use those, and let's see if I have one here sitting. I think I showed it last time, didn't I? The soft key that generates codes. Okay, I usually carry it around with me. Here, there you go. Mm-hmm. It's a USB fob, and you put your password in, and you stick this into USB, and it generates your 2FA. So if I'm traveling, no phone, nothing, I have this, and I can log into anything with this baby. It's like $10. For God's sake, buy one if you don't have one already.
And FQ, what'd you say the name of that is?
It's God, just search on Amazon, 2FA USB key. The multiple companies who produce this, okay. And they're this is like, you know, hard-coded 2FA as a backup when you're traveling, when you're not on your phone, and that is it. Adil Abbasi said, what if you lost this USB? Well, this is just one of the forms. You have a phone, you have Authy, you have multiple ways. I'm not going to go into long detail. This is not a tutorial. Look at 2FA, find out how to do it. That's one thing. But the most important thing is, why on earth? And Dennis, you're a coach. I'm sure you come across a lot of people. I want to understand, why do people generate content which is going to come back and screw you? Why do people take pictures of their boobies with their face?
I think that you know, it's really interesting. So I've mentioned before that I have a lot of friends and colleagues, and have done quite a bit of work in Egypt. And Egypt, if you've been following the news at all, Egypt, I don't know why people do that. And I think I'm just going to come out and say, I think we have to take and recognize that the world is changing. And all I'm going to say is that, listen, I don't want to get into the conversation on censorship or anything else. But we have, like, listen, in my country, they're trying to shut down TikTok. In other parts of the world, they're trying to shut down YouTube. So regardless of personal opinions about that, that is being discussed and so forth. And so what I'm getting at is, I think we sometimes take, and I think it's a little ego-driven, where we take and, thank you, I just actually pulled that up. I have the link on Amazon pulled up, ready to share with everybody. So I think that sometimes we think that we get caught up into a false sense of security, like, oh, that can't happen to me. Like, I've not been able to communicate with a few of my friends and stuff in Egypt because these social platforms we're figuring out how to get a hold of each other. But there are, in Egypt recently, this was just very recently, 2 women, Egypt sentences women to 2 years in prison for TikTok videos. I've tried to find these videos, and what I can tell you is I found one, and I'm just telling you, I saw no nudity or anything. So please understand that wherever you're at culturally, whether you agree with it or disagree with it, like we're all under a little bit different standards where that stuff is concerned. So if you're gonna do something that violates a morality clause, a standard, a community standard, whatever, please know that could come back to bite you. I think we just get complacent, FQ. I really just do. I think what's the big deal?
So even if it's not a societal norm, like taking, that'll happen anywhere in the world. I mean, even in Sweden and Finland and Iceland, if a young girl takes a picture of nude, which can be identified as her, sends it to a male friend or another friend, and that picture gets out, it's going to come back and ruin a young lady's life.
Possibly.
A lot of, and it's not just a woman thing. A lot of men would take a picture of their privates with their face in it. I call it plausible deniability. You have to be able to deny your shit, man. You want to share naughties? Please share dirty pictures. It's all right. We all do it. I'm not saying I do it or Dennis does it, but we all do it. If you do, make sure. I mean, Dennis could never share a naughty picture without getting screwed. He's bloody tattooed everywhere.
Right. Exactly.
He's got a watermark on everything.
I'm highly identifiable.
So I tell this to everybody, and I'm going to give you an example. A very good friend of mine, she was sending pictures of herself to her husband via email, and her email account got hacked, and those pictures came out and she was being blackmailed. Okay, so I'm not saying that you're doing something which is wrong or which is bad. It could just be something very all right, but could go completely wrong. So you got to protect your accounts. And even once we had sorted it out, and I had a major fight. I'm like, what the fuck were you guys thinking? If you're taking those pictures, why is your face in it?
Well,
I mean, take a neck down.
Yeah. To your point, so actually, my sister actually, I believe what happened is one of the kids, took her computer from work. They logged into her computer from work because it was like a laptop. And anyway, there were, when she had to take the computer back to work, she took the computer in. They're like, hey, IT was like, hey, we got to service your computer, blah, blah, blah. So they came and said, yeah, we got to have a talk because there's all kinds of porn on your computer. Well, so what I'm saying is also guard your devices. Guard your devices. Because you never know who's going to take and look at it next. I mean, here's the deal. You could also take, I don't know who your cell providers are, but like if it's Verizon, and you go into the Verizon store, and they start like downloading everything off your phone to fix it or whatever. My son actually repairs cell phones, and I straight up asked him, I'm like, dude, how much of that? He goes, I know you're going to ask about porn and dirty, naked stuff. He goes, I see it all day, every day. So I'm just saying, this isn't like when you take like it used to be back in the day. You take a camera, you take the film out of the camera, and you drop it off at the photo booth or whatever, and you knew if you had nudies on there. But now you take your cell phone in to get repaired, and they access your cloud, and they find all of this stuff. So it's really, really important to think about what it is doing.
So here's my point. I have no issue with people taking those pictures. I have an issue with people taking identifiable pictures. Pictures should never be identifiable. They should
Correct.
not be able to relate them to you. That is the key. I mean, Khushbu saying your phone gets snatched. Of course, all kinds of shit happens. Just don't take a picture that can never have phone calls, dirty phone calls. Don't do that.
Yeah, I would say that too. Yep. Everybody's listening.
Listen,
Everybody's listening.
everyone's listening. If nobody else, the other person could be recording it.
Right.
Bozo.
Yep.
What you can do, chat away. Chat all you want. Because chat is plausible deniability. This is
Yes.
not my chat.
And
You faked
while
it.
we're talking about this, I do want to plug one of my very favorite apps. Everybody can see that it's on my phone. It is called
Which one?
this one right here. It is called Tape a Call. And all I have to tape
What?
a call. And all I have to
Bro.
do, like, F you call me on my cell phone, I hit whoop, hold on. Click. And now the whole thing is recorded. And truthfully, with what I do for a living, most of my conversations are recorded.
My friend, you're an iPhone. I use Android. This thing records every call by default. I have thousands of phone calls automatically recorded.
Well,
And they're all being
Apple's
backed
always
up.
Apple's always been a little safer.
Yeah, so Android. This thing is recording everything. Everything is being recorded here, and I pretty much getting backed to my cloud. So I've got calls going back years, and they're backed up on my cloud.
So
Every
I
phone
just-
call, the delivery boy, the pizza guy, everybody's there. So my point here is, you cannot live a life where you don't have deniability. You can't leave shit around which you
Right.
cannot deny. Now, coming to chat, WhatsApp is great, but it's a piece of shit if you're being naughty. There are
Okay.
beautiful apps which does this fantastically. App number 1, Viber. App number 2, Telegram. App number 3, Wicker, was the ultimate app until your beautiful agency screwed it up. Because Wicker was so tight, Big Brother could not get in. So Big Brother basically screwed them, and now Wicker is a shitty app. But still, Wicker is very powerful. The idea is, in WhatsApp, the message you send, after a while, I can never withdraw it. Okay?
Wow.
But Viber has a secret chat, which is fantastic. Auto-deleting messages. And even
Okay.
after 6 months, I can go delete this message for both parties.
No, that's great. That sounds similar
And
to
that's sweet.
Snapchat. But I don't think Snapchat's that secure.
No, Snapchat is very scary. Not just
Yeah.
secure. There's another problem with Snapchat because I can never figure out what's going where.
Right.
It is too bloody confusing. There's too much
Yeah.
going on there, and you're not sure what's going where. And I've had cases where shit deleted, popped back up. I was like, whoa, that's scary business. Asma just mentioned Telegram. Yes, Telegram is fantastic. Like I said, Viber, Telegram, Wicker. Telegram is fantastic. Unfortunately, it hasn't caught on like WhatsApp yet, but it's going to take over WhatsApp very quickly. Telegram is phenomenal, not just for this reason. It's one of the best chat apps. But it also has a fantastic privacy mode, which is brilliant.
Cool.
Okay, browser, VPN, incognito mode. Do not ever trust Chrome. Do not trust Google. Google is full of bullshit. Just last week, do you know that Google activated all their home speakers to listen to everything? They just issued an apology 2 days ago. Oh, it was a mistake. My ass mistake. See, right now Google listens to, I'm going to say this, it's going to wake up. Okay, Google, cancel. But it's listening to that one line. But last week, Google activated listen to everything and record. It was sending everything back to the cloud. And when they got caught out, so the browser of choice, my dear friends, is Opera. It has a built-in VPN, free, so you can watch all your naughties on that, no problem. And it has a beautiful incognito mode.
And what's the name of that?
Opera.
How do you spell it?
Opera. The Opera, the browser. You don't know about Opera?
I don't know anything about it. O-P-E-R.
Opera.com. Opera.com.
Opera.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put that out there for everyone.
It is wow browser.
So for everybody watching, I just sent FQ a picture. So if you're gonna send a dick pic, the only way that you should send that is exactly like the one I just sent FQ. And I wish I could show that. I just don't know how to do
that's
that.
no, dude. That's no fun. Dick pics are good, man. Dick pics are good. You just got to be sure that no one can say it's your dick. That's the key. Never get caught. All right. So
For sure.
this is a fantastic browser, incognito mode. On your telephones, there is a browser called Firefox Focus, a must-have app. So Firefox Focus is beautiful because once this app minimizes and you restart it, there's nothing on it. So
awesome.
you can do whatever. You can do whatever. Somebody says, give me your phone. You press the home button, give it to them. They open Firefox Focus, there's nothing on it. It all disappears. Once the app goes, everything disappears.
So for those who are curious about the picture, I finally figured it out. Here's what it is. So if you're gonna send a picture, here's the only way: a guitar pic with the word dick on it.
Don't
Dick
be boring.
pic.
Don't be
There
boring.
we go.
Don't be boring. Okay, so your browsing has to be safe. Your accounts have to have 2FA, fully secure, and you. The most important thing is do not create content you cannot deny. And let me tell you one thing. A lot of people think they can take a picture and then crop their face off of it. No. These bastards, everything that goes in there never disappears ever again. So the thing is, the camera should never see your face and your privates at the same time.
Correct.
Should not even see them together. Even before you click, no. If you notice, a lot of these apps now have these real-time filters, which are beautifying and changing. So how do you think that's happening? If it's seeing it, the bloody thing is processing. A lot of this processing happens back on the cloud.
Interesting. Okay, I didn't know that.
So even before you take the picture, there's a lot of shit going back and forth. So the camera should never see your face and your privates in the same frame, ever. A lot of people would have these chats, video chats. Oh, hi, sweetie, hi. Show me your privates, and then just move the camera down. No. That's one conversation. If you're having a normal conversation, if you want to get a private conversation, you first close that conversation, end it completely, start a brand new conversation with nothing but the privates in it. So nobody can link it. Face, pan, no. And don't ask me why I have this whole thing mapped out. I'm not going to answer that question, all right?
Yeah, let me give everybody I really appreciate this information. I'm going to give somebody, because, I take everything by, let's go back to the basics. Stop taking nudies. Just stop doing it.
No.
And here's the other thing I wanted
fun.
to make sure is to say, like, when people take and send private messages and DMs that are less than nice. Let's just, like, here's the deal. If you don't want people saying stuff to you simply because they don't know you well enough, then if you're going to take the position that they don't know me well enough to talk to me that way, then you can't take it personal. Block, delete, something like that. Make it easy on yourself.
Yeah.
And, if like, I'm just going to tell you, like, I don't, the reason I say this, and listen, in a lot of places, in a lot of areas in my life, I'm just extremely lazy. It's just not worth the effort. And so it's kind of like, somebody asked me, it was a friend, it was a joking thing, and they're like, oh, send me a picture. And I'm like, yeah, if you want to see that, you're going to have to come over to the house where I know it's secure. Like, that's just the deal. Oh, well, now all of a sudden they didn't want to do it. Well, why not? Well, because I made it to where they were too lazy to come and do it. So I'm just saying, really give some thought, regardless of what you're doing. There's another comment in here. We're going to get to the comments here in a second. But like, there's a comment in here about like the wrong person. So somebody was going to send a video or pictures, and then it ended up getting sent to the wrong person. It takes that long. That's it, and it's gone. You're never getting it back, and it is out there. So just be very, very careful. For me, I don't participate in this kind of stuff. There's a reason, and part of it is that, so for many years, my employer paid for my cell phone. My employer paid for my cell phone. I could make personal calls on it, but I can assure you, because I wrote the policy on it, is that if with the cell phone, if there was any kind of dirty pics, nasty texts, anything like that, like I was held accountable for that. So for me, it's always, the cell phone has always, it's always been a tool for business and stuff, not really one for like picking up chicks. But then again, I've been married a long time too, so I haven't needed to pick up a chick in a long time.
Okay, I agree with you. One should not do things, but my take is that shit happens. People make mistakes. If you're going to do that, at least be prepared. I don't live in denial. I do not live in denial. Theoretically, yes, please don't do it. But practically, it happens, and I think more than, on a serious note, more than anybody else, I want this on record to be for young people, teenagers, just, the hormones are raging, you have these late night conversations, and people make mistakes. If you're going to do it, at least be sensible about it. At least be more conscious and more careful about it.
Absolutely.
So if you're going to party, keep two phones. One phone for all the good stuff and another phone for all the bad stuff. If you can't afford two phones, at least have separate chats. I mean, for all good, decent work, use WhatsApp. And for anything illicit, use Viber. Or anything, ICQ, there's a lot of chat. Don't mix the two, so you don't get confused and accidentally send some shit to the wrong. You're forwarding shit you sent to the wrong person.
Yeah.
And that happens all the time.
Yeah. Yep.
You bulk forwarding. You make a mistake, man.
It can happen doing something super simple as well, and it's super simple that is meaningless. And so I end up IMing and chatting, especially since COVID, with a lot of people. Most of my clients, that's how we communicate. And I will just tell you, it was it was embarrassing when I accidentally hit the wrong button and sent this emoji to a group of people that really didn't need. And then I had to follow up like, oh shit, sorry. That wasn't for you. Fortunately, most everybody that I work with does this on a constant basis, so they all thought it was funny.
Another advice I want to give, for all your bank information, your stuff like, private information, anything like that, do not keep it on your main email account. For example, your name's Jane Doe and you got, janedoe@gmail.com. No. Create another account like 3298052x@hotmail.com. Direct all your secrets. So if somebody's coming out to attack you, if somebody's targeting you, even if they get your email account, they won't find jack shit over there.
Yeah, and I appreciate you saying that about banking, because this is more this is about online safety, and it's more than just being involved in these other types of situations. So you ready to get some comments?
It's about everything, So always create go on.
Oh, I was just going to say, Hamad, thank you so much for coming back, man. Missed you for a bit. I hope you're well and doing well. Rafia, guilty. I'm assuming that you're saying that you have felt like you have...
I mean, she had to tell us that, obviously.
Putting some stuff out there that ends up like, that maybe a little bit later you're like, why did I do that? Like, man, I opened this door for these people to be like creepy and weird and stuff. So think about it. I'm just going to say, like, every time there's a fire or something anywhere, you always have to ask yourself, how did I participate in throwing gasoline on this fire? So 50 years later, and I'll never forget. Yeah, this is a good one. Irfan, our good friend Irfan. So if not today, maybe 50 years later. Yeah, perhaps. I mean, most of us will probably be wiped out within the next 10 years because of COVID and thinking it's a joke. So, people are getting picked on for tweets. You know what? And I'm going to say, it's almost like in the United States, you have to, to get elected to office here, you have to know that people are going to literally go back through every single tweet, post, college papers. that, like we had a guy elected to the, or appointed to the Supreme Court, and people were like, oh, well, look at what he wrote in college. Yeah, that was like 30 years ago. I mean, college is a time for exploration. It's a time to express yourself. It's learning about who you are, and we're holding it against them because they wrote a paper on it, as if 30 years ago your views can't change from that time. I mean, truthfully, one of the thesis I submitted, like I don't believe in that shit. I didn't believe in it at all. You know why I did it? Because it was assigned to me. I mean, so.
Okay, I want to make a couple of points here. I leave that comment here because Irfan and I have known each other from the dark days of the internet. And interesting, Irfan mentions this. I think I was born paranoid. At day one, I think I was paranoid. I didn't cry. I probably looked at the doctor with paranoia, thinking, why is he bringing me out? So I have always done this. Everything I'm telling you today, even back in the dark days, I used to do it. The thing is, Dennis, shit does happen, man.
Yeah.
And you have to always protect yourself. So
Yeah.
Irfan, and you said, just don't write stuff that's going to come back later. You're saying in younger days you've written stuff. No, I say even in your youngest days, do not assume your life and social media are one and the same. Do not put out everything you think. Do not.
Right.
You got to keep shit secret. You only put out things which conform to the society, or if you're going against the society, make sure you're strong enough and smart enough to know what you're doing. I mean, I am very, very anti certain political parties, but I know what I'm doing. There's a purpose and agenda to that. I'm not just firing in the dark. Now, Irfan and I know each other from the earliest days of bloody Pakistan, about the world's internet. And Irfan would vouch for this. My shit, which I wrote 25 years ago, is still sitting out there on UUCP groups. I don't think anybody even knows what UUCP is. And I used to launch it from a bulletin board called Angel's Base. And I had an alias called Damien at Angel's Base. So if you find shit, you can't bring it back to me. That's the key.
Yeah.
Deniability. Whenever you're
Right.
making a monkey of yourself out there, you gotta have deniability. Irfan, good man.
Okay.
All right,
So-
moving on.
Yeah, Asma. Asma asked a question. Tell us how to have thick skin. That would be great advice. Asma, thank you for joining us again. It's been really nice having you here with us these last few episodes and stuff. How do you have thick skin? One, it comes down to understanding how you put yourself in positions to have, like, you open the door for other people to either be critical or judgmental, or to say something that you're not going to like. As far as having thick skin, it really, I don't know how to say this other than, like, the best way to develop this thick skin concept is to get comfortable. Because I want to go down here a few more. We can't always block every shitty person so easily as we do it on social media. We need skill. So what we're talking about today, as far like if we're differentiating between blocking people in real life versus online, I do think you can block people, Asma. And one of the things I do, I have several people. I've got a lot of phone numbers inside of this thing, and a lot of them are blocked. And the reason is because when they're blocked, they go right to voicemail. Why do I put that right on voicemail? Why do I do that? It's simply because my tendency, like, there's some people that will, like, ring my phone and I'll look at it and I'll get sidetracked all day because I'm pissed off, because I'm angry, because of any number of emotions. So it keeps me. It has nothing to do with the other person at all. It's about me. I know I have a tendency to take things personal. So what I do, I just let it go to voicemail. And then when I'm in a frame of mind that I can deal with this, then I go ahead and listen to it. So you're still going to get the message and stuff. I'm just going to say it takes practice. There is no one and done solution. We all have these insecurities where our relationships are concerned. My wife won't even, like, unfriend people that are total assholes online because she doesn't want to be rude. You can't be rude online by unfriending somebody.
I'm gonna take a little
that's
further.
Silly. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to take a little further. I think what Asma's referring to is a lot of people in your relationships are such that you can't just get rid of them. You have to be with them, you have to put up with them, and then they're just shitty or toxic people. Asma, now that you mentioned, Dennis and I do a lot of trainings for people. We do media training, we do public speaking training, we teach people how to talk, how to broadcast, and we also teach people how to have better social skills and how to deal with relationships. So we do that professionally, commercially, but just to tell you very quickly, in a very basic tone is that, like in Buddhism they say if somebody calls you a dog and you start looking for a tail, you know you're a dog. Otherwise it shouldn't matter to you. I mean, I can call Dennis anything right now, he wouldn't give a fuck. Dennis, you can call me anything right now. You can call my mother anything if you like. I don't care, because I know who she is. You have no idea. You just bullshit. So if a stranger, or if even somebody I know, I have a friend lawyer. He's a very famous man, and he and I were both going through a rough patch in our marriages. So we were sitting. He was dealing with my legal stuff, and he goes, "Listen, man, my wife does this to me as well." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "She sits there and cusses and abuses and screams and gives me shit." And I go, "How do you deal with it?" And he goes, I sit there smiling and laughing. And when she's run out of shit to say, I give her ideas. Say, "Hey, why don't you say this as well? Why don't you try this new bad word? Try this at me." Because I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Right? So it's not about having thick skin. It's about having self-esteem. Your self-esteem will protect you against that. Beyond that, if you really want to get into it, we do these trainings, and we do this whole private lecture thing. You can get in touch with Dennis, and he can talk more to you about that.
Thank you, Asma. I did want to take and address something here, and
Moving
I think
on.
I'm not sure if this is a negative comment or not. RJ, here's what I want to say about this. The reason I don't know about obsessed with PTI. I don't know. Here's why are we mentioning it. Here's the deal, RJ, and I want you to know I really appreciate you asking this question. I think this is brilliant because it gives me an opportunity to answer it in a way that, here's why I need to understand this, because we're all global citizens. We're all children of God, right? And the more we understand about each other, the more we can care about each other, and the more we can stop hating each other because we're more alike than we are different. So thank you for asking that, because it gave me an opportunity to really kind of plug that little message. So thank you, RJ. I love you very much. Have a wonderful day. We have a bunch of other comments here that I didn't really say. Also marrying, already, yeah. Stop the blame game. Kushbu, 100%. Yep, absolutely. Brother, be neutral.
I'm going to say something controversial here.
Yeah.
I'm going to say is there lag? Can you hear me, Dennis?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay. So, Khushbu, I want to say something controversial. Women do break homes, but not the other woman, your own wife. A woman breaks her own home, not the other women. I'm sorry if you don't like what I say. Go on, Dennis. Next comment.
Let's see. Irfan got to say here, I'm not sure if this one, PPP started to get bent out of shape, soon going threatening me physical harm. My reply was, because I am not in the business of being threatened, that fake to some. Yeah, Irfan, I'm just going to say, you're talking about a lot of things that culturally and stuff, like geographically and all that, I'm not really familiar with. But I'm just going to say, kind of on your last your last part there, go after yourself because I'm not in the business of being threatened. Listen, I'm just going to say, one of the things I think that's really, I love social media. However, I also think that one of the downsides of social media is we have created a platform where people think that they can say anything and everything that they want without fear of getting punched in the throat. So people say stuff all online that they would never say to another person in face to face. So I think we kind of need to get a little bit back into that. And as far as being threatened, I think sometimes we just need to take a stand for ourselves, because until we take a stand for ourselves, other people will always treat us the way we allow them to. So thank you for that. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, so this goes right to it. Rafia, I'm not going to read this. I'm just going to say, look, people are assholes, man. The easiest thing to do is just, to really, really take and make a deliberate practice of not taking this stuff personal. And the way I say to do this is laugh. Figure out a way to laugh at this. You blocked him. Atta girl. Nice. Okay, so we got some other stuff, but that's the most, this one. Haram shows an example for that in Pakistan. Yeah. This is explicit. So FQ,
Okay, I want to address this one, Dennis. Hang on.
Yep.
If you're married, your partner can identify every part of your body. You know, that's something different. That's a no-brainer. What I'm trying to tell you is that what happens is relationships break. We know all these actors and actresses and stars who get screwed because of that, and they say we're sending a private picture, to a boyfriend or a lover or a friend or whoever. The thing is, at least the world should not be able to identify it's you. Of course, your mother knows who you are. Your mother knows it's your picture, but your neighbor shouldn't know it's your picture. And for that, you need to protect yourself. So if it comes out in public, yeah, of course, if your wife's going to catch you, she's going to catch you. She knows exactly what your D looks like. But, at least the whole world should not know what your D looks like. See, that's the point here. That's it. Are we done, man?
Yes, we are. Yeah. Asma, please continue to stay with us because that's coming soon. They're about to be released. So thank you. Cool. Hey, it's been a great week.
But more specific, and we can talk about that.
Absolutely. Hey, thank you everybody for joining us this week. It's been really fun. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to speak to you. Thanks for helping us. Thanks for participating and helping us create normalizing normal stuff. And it's just great that we're able to have these conversations. And, every now and again we get a few people that want to take exceptions to what's said, and they want to keep towing the old fundamental line and stuff like that. So I appreciate everybody on this platform and have been a part of the show. So thank you so much. I hope that everybody has an amazing weekend. Stay safe, healthy, and blessed.
Well, they're welcome not to watch. And those people are welcome not to watch. And please, we would appreciate if you can send us some, in the comments or private messages. Let us know what topics you want us to take on.
Absolutely.
Because we'd love to talk about things that you want to talk about.
Absolutely.
Next week. Good night.
Please do. Take care.